In this bulletin, COVID cases recorded still above 200. Average daily test on upward trend. And villages remain on high alert. Ravinaka, Fiji. Fiji has recorded 262 new cases in the 24-hour period ending at 8 yesterday morning. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong says 5 cases are known contacts of cases from the Nawaka Levu containment zone that has been undergoing 14 days quarantine in quarantine facilities in Nadi. 3 are contacts from within the existing Korovo cluster, while the remaining 254 cases are from the Lami Suvarnosori containment zone. Dr. Fong says 113 cases are from existing areas of interest in this zone and 43 are from the following new areas of interest that include Jitu Estate, MV Liohona Shipping, Milverton Road, Natonganravu, Waikete Village, Naluvatu Village. He says the remaining are contacts of known cases that were seen in screening clinics and were swabbed and cases under investigation to determine possible sources of transmission. Dr. Fong says there have been 17 new recoveries reported since the last update, which means that there are now 2,813 active cases in isolation. The national 7-day average daily test positivity now stands at 7.4% and continues on an upward trend. This is way above the World Health Organization's 5% threshold, which means the outbreak is now out of control. Health Ministry's Permanent Secretary Dr. James Fong says the national 7-day test average is 2,948 tests per day, and health officials have managed to screen 664 individuals and swabbed 63 people in the last 24 hours. Here's the 7-day average of new cases per day has increased to 234 cases per day, and our daily testing numbers have remained at a high level. Dr. Fong says data collected shows widespread community transmission continues in the Lami Suvarnosori containment zone. A total of 147,961 samples have been tested since April this year, with 210,336 screened and 27,319 people being swabbed. The World Health Organization has warned that widespread community transmission gives more opportunities from the virus to mutate into different variants. Fiji has been experiencing a widespread transmission for 3 days now. WHO further warned that more deaths will take place when the health systems are stretched beyond their capacity. Meanwhile, FBC News sent questions to the Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, who confirmed that Fiji is still dealing with the Delta strain of COVID-19. However, there is no confirmation yet if and when they will test and investigate for further variants during this outbreak.
More transmission, more variants. Less transmission, less variants. That makes it even more urgent that we use all the tools at our disposal to prevent transmission. More cases means more hospitalizations, further stretching health workers and health systems, which increases the risk of death.
The Minister for Trade, Fayaz Quayer, spoke up against the unfair treatment on small island developing states during the virtual Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States Trade Ministers meeting over the weekend. Quayer strongly voiced its support, highlighting that the new subsidies agreement is not favorable for Pacific Island countries. He did not mince his words when he called out on the World Trade Organization subsidies agreement to be reviewed, as there will not be much development if the global trading field is not leveled.
The way the current text negotiations, Madam Chair, are shaping up, it seems that the mandate is being reinterpreted by the dominant players within the WTO, with no consideration for the custodians of the vast oceans.
Vunisei village elders in the Rewa province have left no stone unturned in the bid to ensure that people are safe from this killer virus. Turangani Koro Leone Nicotimo told FBC News that 2 villagers who are employed by Freshet and Goodman Fielder are primary contacts of confirmed cases. Josiah Nanunga reports the swift response from the Vunisei COVID-19 Response Committee has ensured the 2 are safely isolated with minimal contact with other village members.
It was a moment of standing ovation when a villager who works for Goodman Fielder was dropped off by a company vehicle here, walked and sat silently on the seat with fear and anxiety. He then alerted his family members at home to keep their distance and pleaded to be isolated at the community hall as he did not want to pose any risks to other villagers.
We were alerted and head straight to check on him. He explained everything before being safely transferred to the village hall. He is currently occupying a section of this hall for 14 days while waiting for his test results.
The scenario is rare in any traditional setting where people wouldn't dare express challenges they are battling, fearing stigmatization. But Nicotimo says this villager deserves commendation.
If he didn't own up, he would have put the village's life at risk and a high chance of community outbreak here at Vunisei. His honesty will eventually protect our village from COVID-19.
We're also working around the clock to ensure villagers who travel from urban centers or returning from their farms are thoroughly screened, as this virus can contract a person anywhere and at any time.
2 houses at Vunisei village have been cordoned off as a member of the 2 households are primary contacts of existing cases. The Turangani Koro is, however, optimistic that the COVID-19 battle will soon be over. Josiah Nanunga, FBC News.
Businesses are hoping for a national budget similar to that of the current one, as many are still reeling from the effects of closure due to the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. In their budget submission, the Suva Retailers Association requested for the tariffs in this year's budget to be continued in the 2021-2022 national budget that will be announced next month. Association President Jitesh Patel says the tariffs in the current national budget helped cushion the blow businesses took during the first wave of COVID-19, and they hope this will be considered in the next budget. The 2021-2022 national budget is scheduled to be announced on July 16th at 7:30 p.m.
We want a continuation of policies, and it's very important that we pass on the savings to the consumers as well. As we know that there is a lot of unemployment, and we understand the government is doing their part by giving out these $50 incentives to $220 from the FNPF and all those things to keep the economy moving. And we're also looking at more locally produced products to be, come into the market so we can create employment.
And to our latest COVID-19 update. There were 262 new cases in the 24-hour period ending at 8 a.m. yesterday. The Central Division once again has the majority of the new infections. Fiji has recorded 3,521 cases since April. There are now 2,813 active cases in isolation, with 753 recoveries in total. The COVID-19 death toll still stands at 15. Up ahead, Czech Republic through to Euro 2020 semi-finals. And back to business for the Flying Fijians. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's the Czech Republic versus Denmark on Saturday in Baku for a place in the Euro 2020 semi-finals. This after Czech handed a 2-0 loss to Netherlands in round of 16 this morning. Czech took the lead in the 68th minute of the second half with a goal from Thomas Hose, who is unmarked about 6 yards out and powers a header past 3 defenders on the line. In the 80th minute, Thomas Hose again gets the ball and runs into the box. He pulls it back from Patrick Schick, who tucks the ball into the bottom corner with a first-time finish from 8 yards. Some members of the Flying Fijians had their first training session at the team at Orange Theory Stadium in Christchurch, New Zealand yesterday. Meanwhile, a few of the boys are still in Auckland and will be joining the team later this week after their quarantine period comes to an end. Speaking exclusively to FBC Sports from New Zealand, head coach Vern Cotter says it's great to have the team back in training.
They can train in front of us. We can't have contact with them for another few days, but they're able to take the paddock and some set plays have been sent to them and they'll be working on that.
Australia's support for Fiji continues with an announcement of Pacific Oz Sports funding to support Fiji Rugby Union's high-performance programs. This comes as 70,000 more vaccines from Australia arrived. A coastal flood warning previously enforced for some coastal areas is now cancelled. However, a strong wind warning remains in force for Viti Levu and the Yasawa Group. A high-pressure system to the southeast of Fiji directs fresh to strong southeast wind flow over the country. That's FBC Morning News. Join us at 7 p.m. for a major bulletin. For news you can trust, get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj. Take care and good morning.